Well, we move from emotional fetuses, emotional animals, to fetuses.
Oh, to fetuses? Okay.
To fetuses.
All right.
Now, someone who I kind of found a little bit humorous years ago has become kind of a kook in recent years.
All right.
I'm talking about Sarah Silverman.
Oh, well, I never found her to be funny, but okay.
Years ago, probably 10, maybe 12, maybe even 15 years ago, she kind of had a little bit of a quirkiness to her.
Okay.
But now she's just kind of like a left-wing loon.
Yeah.
To where she's not funny at all now.
And now you can't stand her, won't watch anything she's on.
I mean, even she was in a Steel Panther video.
Okay.
She was in a Death But Metal video.
And now she's probably protesting them for being sexist.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Sarah Silverman announces her plans to eat an aborted fetus.
Good.
She's going to eat a fetus.
I can't wait to watch that.
Mm-hmm. She has her own talk show now.
She does?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
She has that show on Hulu. It's Sarah Silverman Runs Around America or something.
I don't know.
Where she just tries to she goes and finds like a bunch of Trump voters and tries to make them look stupid. She goes like to the middle of fucking BFE and it's like, oh, so why did you vote for Donald Trump? Well, I think that Donald's got the right idea. She goes and finds those fucking jizz buckets.
Sure.
Trying to make fucking people that voted for Trump look like fucking idiots. And she finds them.
Well, I'm sure they do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they pass on quite a few before they pick the ones that they actually pick.
Of course they do. All right. Well, anyway, liberal talk show host Sarah Silverman has announced plans to eat an aborted fetus.
Yum.
As a way to make a point and take a stand against uptight religious right-wing nut jobs.
Okay.
Who believe that unborn babies are human beings.
Okay.
During a live-streamed telethon to raise money for abortionists, Sarah Silverman describes laws to protect unborn children as ridiculous and describes fetuses as sesame seeds with no discerning brain function.
All right.
During a foul-mouthed rant against laws that calls for burying aborted fetuses, Sarah Silverman said, "Fucking funerals for fucking aborted fetuses? I would like to speak at those funerals. He lived the way he died. He died the way he lived, the size of a sesame seed with no discerning brain function." The telethon, organized by Lady Parts Justice League.
Ugh, Lady Parts Justice League?
Yeah.
Jesus, who's the chairman? Wonder Woman?
Was hosted by Daily Show creator Liz Winstead.
Oh, boy. Great.
And featured 4 hours of bizarre content, including abortion games, an interview with an abortionist, Willie Parker, and political rants.
Okay.
Sarah Silverman returned to her theme of eating an aborted fetus
right.
during a fun abortion game, saying that an Oklahoma conscience clause law that prevents aborted fetuses from being used in manufactured food products is something that makes me want to eat an aborted fetus.
Okay.
All right. The law in question, legislated in Oklahoma, was created in a response to a claim that a food lab wanted to use stem cells from aborted fetuses to create artificial flavors.
All right.
When the concept of conscious clause laws was explained to the audience, Sarah Silverman explained her feelings on a religion in the United States. Religious freedom used to be such a beautiful thing because it was like this big inclusive thing in the country, and now it's just this shroud to legalize hate.
Oh, brother.
And shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it when you have a different opinion, it just automatically gets made into hate?
Well, it's what it is anytime an opinion excludes people, then that's automatically hate in these left-wing idiots' minds.
Yeah.
But it's not that way. You know what? Religion, personally, I think religion is very much a bunch of fucking nonsense. You know, I love hearing the stories. They make some good movies out of the stories. But in the end, I'm not buying into the fucking teachings of any book that's 2,000 years old and pretending that it's somehow relevant to now. You know, that's just me personally. That being said, if you live by, I'll just use Christianity as the basic one, because I'm sure that's what we're talking about here. If you live your life, forget religion. If you just take the 10 Commandments to heart and you live your life that way, you're pretty much a good person, wouldn't you say? You're not lying, you're not killing, you're not fucking your neighbor. You know, you're not using the Lord's name in vain, which I guess you can get away with that one if you don't believe. But, I mean, if people that follow those 10 rules, if they were just called the 10 rules of society.
Well, they're called the Golden Rule.
Yeah, well, I mean, but if they weren't tied to,
religion or the Bible.
Yeah, if they weren't tied to the Bible, then if they were just, the way we live, you'd be okay with people that live that way. You'd be like, all right, that's a pretty good guy. That's a pretty good chick. They're living okay. So the whole thing, though, is that these left-wing fucking jagoffs, they want what would be considered, against the rules to be accepted. They want guys to be accepted across the board. And you know what? If that's not in your belief system, and this is where I think everybody gets it wrong by including religion. If the only reason you're not for guys is because of the Bible, well, then you're a little bit screwy. I'll agree with Sarah Silverman on that. If you're just not down with guys because you're not down with it, but not because there's some magic ghost telling you it's bad, then okay, then they should shut the fuck up. They shouldn't really, you don't have to be. You don't have to believe everything that everybody does. I always look at religion as a cop-out, for someone like Sarah Silverman here. She's just using a cop-out because she can't justify her point that she's talking out both sides of her mouth. In one side, she's saying you should be able to do whatever you want, but on the other side, she's saying you shouldn't be able to think you shouldn't be able to think against what I think.
Right. Well, if you have an opposing view, then there's something wrong with you.
Then you're hateful.
Yeah.
But you can't just say that because that, like I always say on the show, to do that makes you have to judge the individuals versus by saying, well, it's just a bunch of religious kooks, and therefore you can put it all into a group, and you don't actually have to confront each individual person on their beliefs. So that's what these left-wing douchebags or racists or whatever do. They lump everybody into a group because it's easier to fucking condemn groupthink than it is to condemn this guy, then this guy, then this guy, then this guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with you.
And that's Sarah Silverman, fucking fool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, and I'm all for abortion. For me personally, I'm pro-abortion. But let's call it what it is. It is killing a baby. So, kill the baby. So what? You're killing a baby. Stop. In what world are we living that we think that people aren't being killed all the fucking time? Long past when they're babies. How many people have died in your little city so far this year?
Who knows?
January, probably about 600?
Hard to say.
How many got killed last year? There 1,000?
I don't know the stats.
I'm going to guess 1,000 in Chicago alone.
Oh, in Chicago, okay.
Yeah, it's in Chicago.
Yeah.
Last year, 1,000?
Yeah, easily.
1,000 people were murdered. And they were people, Sarah. So they're dead. Multiply that by probably the top 50 cities. That's 50,000 people that were murdered last year. So fucking what? It happens. Deal with it. Same with babies. Same with abortion. You want to make a big stink about, is it life? Is it not life? Why? Does that make you feel better? Does that justify it for you when it's fucking killing cells versus killing a baby? Just admit it. You're killing a baby because you weren't responsible when you were fucking a dude. End of story. Accept what you did and move on. Take responsibility. That's what I think. No?
Well, I'll give you my thoughts here in a second. I'll finish this.
All right.
The abortion telethon also featured an appearance by Mark Hamill, the Star Wars actor, who auditioned off a personalized Last Jedi poster who auctioned off a personalized Last Jedi poster donated to the cause by the Walt Disney Company.
Okay.
Disney gave us a Last Jedi poster, Hamill announced, before adding, and when we figure out who wins, I'll personalize it. I'll write something obscene and dirty if they want.
Ooh, nice.
Only Daily Show creator Liz Winstead laughed and joked. Mark Hamill is actually going to become an abortion provider. He'll give you an abortion with a Jedi wand. It's going to be awesome.
The jokes just keep on coming.
Wow. Towards the end of the live stream, Winstead started to cry as she spoke about abortion providers. These people that provide this amazing care for people are demonized and shunned. And they provide literally a pathway to somebody's life every single day. And if we let them have to provide the care and defend what they do when we've all used it to become better people, we're doing a disservice to our society. And so that's why we do the work. We'll see how they frame this. It's care.
It's care.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
If it's care and it's an abortion is not killing a person, okay? Then when a person is brain dead and they keep it alive on machines, why isn't it murder when they turn the machines off? Because they're taking, they're doing. Isn't that the same thing?
Well, it is similar.
So, I don't know. The whole thing is just dumb. Just admit it. It's killing it. You know, if you take somebody off the machine, why does everybody not want to turn the machine off? Because they don't want to kill their loved one, right?
I would think, or they think that there's some hope that somehow they're going to just miraculously recover or...
But in the end, it still comes back to the same thing. They don't want to be the one to kill their loved one.
Right.
For whatever reason, they don't want to be the one to kill their loved one. And there's no brain activity. So it's kind of the same as an abortion. But it is definitely killing a human being. So it's the same thing. If you coat hanger it, you're killing a human being. Just one that wasn't born yet. What is the difference between 10 weeks and 30 weeks? Is it still not a human being because it hasn't flown through a twat? Is that the definition? Is that what defines a human being? Coming out of a stomach or what? What? Fertilizing the egg aren't the lefties like big on science?
But only when it benefits them.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing, and this is my personal thoughts.
Yeah.
When it comes to quote unquote services,
right,
like a Planned Parenthood, Every time you hear about Planned Parenthood having to shut down due to lack of funds, because a lot of Planned Parenthoods receive taxpayer money, and there are politicians out there, people who have these, they represent their constituents who think, well, if Planned Parenthood is performing abortions, I don't want my taxpayer dollars to go to that.
Right.
And that's a valid point. If you have some kind of a moral or even a religious conviction about it, regardless of what your thoughts are on religion, you are a tax-paying citizen where you are putting your dollars into taxes that go toward providing abortions at a Planned Parenthood.
Sure.
Well, what happens is that these people who are pro-life. No, they're pro Planned Parenthood.
Okay.
They always try to talk up the issue that, well, Planned Parenthood provides services and medical care and female care and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So these politicians have gone to the point of saying, well, we'll give you the tax dollars that we promised you, but none of it can go toward abortion.
All right.
And that always throws a wrench into the works for them.
Yeah, it goes back to what we were saying before. What it does is it justifies being irresponsible.
Right. And so some of these Planned Parenthood places have to shut down due to lack of funds and whatever. But me as an individual, as a taxpayer, if the same thing with this whole Obamacare issue that places like Chick-fil-A,
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby. They wanted to opt out of the whole Obamacare thing because the Obamacare thing advocated that taxpayer money go to allowing women to have birth control pills. And they had a moral objection to that, saying, well, we don't want our money going toward that, which they have that right to have that thought. Regardless of what you think of it, it's just
the
like
thought, yes, but the ability to supersede the law, no, I disagree.
Well,
if the law of the land is that your taxes go to Planned Parenthood, then either do business and accept that or don't. If that's the law, and use your power as a business to put the right people in place and change the law.
Right.
But dude, it's the same thing. I'll go the other way with it. Something that drove me crazy, and you know this because I went fucking ballistic for goddamn 6 years over it. When Obama told Holder not to enforce the DOMA laws.
Yeah, of course.
First of all, I could give a shit. I don't think anybody should get any benefit from being married, personally. I don't care if it's gay marriage, straight marriage, whatever. I don't think anybody should save money because they chose to fuck somebody and bought them a ring. That just is stupid as fuck to me. But that's the law of the land. DOMA was the law of the land. So if I don't want to pay for that, then I need to cast my vote, and I need to try and convince other people around me to cast their vote the same way I do. Or elect people that will fight for that. You can't supersede the law just because you're fucking believing in some goddamn ghost. You can't do it. There's, what is it? The definition, not definition. What am I thinking of? Between church and state. Is it definition? No.
No, it's a division between
church and state.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing with say like a Hobby Lobby. They're closed on Sundays, so is Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
They're closed on Sundays. They're a private business. They don't feel that they need to be subjected to a law that goes against their religious belief.
So go somewhere that's not the way of the land.
Yeah, but the thing is that, again, with your separation of church and state, that beliefs in this country anyway, do hold some weight. That you can't force me to go against my religious belief.
Yes, you can though, but that's a misnomer, because you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can, because in some religions, it's okay to honor killings, but if you honor kill somebody in this country, you're going to jail. You're not getting off because it's okay in the fucking Islamic faith. You're going to jail because the law supersedes the belief. The law is more important than the belief.
But the Supreme Court ruled in favor of a Hobby Lobby or Chick-fil-A, or
they let them out of it.
Yeah. And the same way, that whole stupid cake debate, having to make a cake for a gay wedding.
Yeah.
They upheld that. Said you don't have to.
But if that's the law, that's the law. I agree that it shouldn't be. I mean, you sell whatever the fuck you want.
Right. Well, fortunately, they upheld that, said, no, you don't have to.
Yeah. I mean, that should be the way it is. But sometimes the laws stink. And that's still, I just don't. I hate the whole thought of any time a law comes from the way someone feels, I'm against it. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's, like abortion is one. You're or this that you're talking about with the Hobby Lobby and Chick-fil-A. They don't feel like they should have to pay it. Well, tough shit. That's the way that we should have tough, hard rules. Not if you obey the laws, then you do well. Hobby Lobby or Chick-fil-A should be thrilled that they've built billion-dollar businesses in this country on those rules. It's the same as letting the illegals in. If you want to be here, you should have to follow these rules. By saying that Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby shouldn't have to because they have a moral dilemma or they don't feel like that law should pertain to them, then why can't we say to those dreamer fucks, well, we don't feel like going through the immigration process, so we're just going to be here. You can't justify one and then say the other one is bad. You got to look at everything with one set of eyes, which is the law should be more important than the feelings, than the emotion, whatever causes the emotion, whether it's religion or how you feel or being sad or, whatever. The law should supersede it. That's my personal take, and I know that's doesn't necessarily play left or right, but it's just how I feel about it.
Well, anyway, getting back to the whole Obamacare and the, providing birth control.
Sure.
And companies paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
If you work for a certain type of for-profit company,
mm-hmm.
they no longer have to cover the cost of any contraception that they say violates their religious belief.
Good to know.
The Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, requires most health insurance plans to cover birth control without cost sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Without health care coverage, the pill can cost about $25 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Before the ruling, houses of worship were already exempt from the birth control insurance mandate. Nonprofit organizations with religious affiliations like Catholic colleges and hospitals have to inform the insurer if they object to contraceptives, and the insurer is then responsible for figuring out a way of guaranteeing contraceptive coverage for workers without the company using its premiums to pay for it.
So basically, if you have $60 and can spend $60 to become an ordained minister and are willing to host a church service at your house once a week, you can call yourself a church and not have to deal with this.
Well, I don't know that law, but I'm just saying that if you're established, entity.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many loopholes to all this shit.
There are loopholes.
It's because we fucking don't hold the law as the law.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is if we held the law to the law, if the law was it, there wouldn't be any of this situation. There wouldn't be the fucking Dreamers. There wouldn't be fucking Obamacare. There wouldn't be fucking, Chick-fil-A fucking getting discounts because they feel, emboldened to a ghost. The whole thing is goofy. It doesn't make sense in this day and age. And I know the religious people will come out and say, well, this is the problem. You're taking religion out of everything. Well, religion shouldn't be a part of it. That's part of what the freedom is. Freedom of religion is you do have the freedom to practice it, but you shouldn't get a benefit for it. You shouldn't get a benefit for what you believe. That's just ridiculous.
Well, anyway, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Hobby Lobby, but the ruling applies only to companies considered as closely held, and according to the IRS, a company that is closely held if 5 or few people own more than half the corporation.
Okay.
And Hobby Lobby is a privately owned company.
Sure.
And they're owned by just like a couple of people.
Hobby.
Yeah.
Mr. Hobby and his lobby.
Exactly.
Right.
And they said we're in a closely held corporation, and we're a religious, company, and we have these beliefs, and we don't think this applies. But the thing is getting back to your point, the law was already established that, these laws don't apply to closely held companies.
Yeah.
And so Hobby Lobby qualifies as a closely held company, and they said, we don't think that this law applies to us. And they said, yeah, you're right, it doesn't.
Yeah, well, then there you go.
But
if that's the law that's on the book, then that's the law that's on the book.
Right. But the thing is it doesn't have anything to do with, we feel we're religious. They prove their case by saying, according to the way that the law is written, we fall within those guidelines.
Right, but people bitch, the other side bitches, because they don't feel like Hobby Lobby should be allowed to do that.
That's correct. And that's where the big bugaboo came from. It's like, well, they should. And it's just like, no, they don't have to, because they fall within that guideline.
Yeah, if you fall within the law, then fuck you if you don't like it.
No, but see, here's where the problem falls. It's the demonization of a company like a Hobby Lobby, saying, hater, anti-abortionist. And see, again, this falls into that, you just hate us.
I take it you've never eaten at Chick-fil-A?
I have not.
Do they not? Is that only a local thing, or is that a national thing?
No, it's a national chain.
Okay. Because I'll tell you this, there's a Chick-fil-A about 5, 6. It's in Macedonia. What's that from my house? 5-8 miles?
Yeah,
something like that?
5, 8, 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you that anytime that place is open, there is a line fucking in their drive-thru around the goddamn...
Same here. The one in the closest to me during the week, there are people in the drive-thru all the way around the building. And
they have taken a brutal beating, from the media and from the left-wingers that are like, oh, fucking religious bullshit.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
because they don't believe in guys kissing guys in public.
You know what? Hasn't hurt their sales.
Not at all, because that just proves that most people, the majority of people, don't think that way.
Yeah, and that's it. They don't give a but Chick-fil-A, they don't respond to it over and over. They don't give a fuck. They're like, this is what we're doing. Fuck you if you don't like it. That's it. They don't, they make a good product, and you know what? If they had nothing but serial killers that own the place, I'd still eat there, because their fucking sandwiches are great. I don't give a shit who makes it.
It's delicious, God damn it.
Dude, do you pick a business, any business that's big. Just name one.
Walmart.
Do you think that there's not 10 people in Walmart's business that are employed by Walmart that have killed people?
I'm sure there are.
Do you think that there are 10 people that work at Walmart across the board that have raped children?
Could be.
I mean, if you had to guess.
Yeah, but by percentages, yes, I would say yes.
So now you're a bad one because I know you'll never shop at a Walmart. But the average person can figure that out, that there are at least 10 pedophiles and at least 10 murderers that more than likely work at Walmart, and yet people will still go in there to buy their new tennis shoes.
Right.
Don't give a fuck, because in the end, it doesn't fucking matter.
No, it's not my business.
Yeah, in the end, all you give a shit about is can you get your shirt cheaper there than if you fucking bought it over at Macy's.
Right.
That's it. So this whole outrage and business this and, their moral principles, and that's all horse shit. It's all horse shit because people just like to bitch. That's all it is. It's just bullshit because people like to bitch. Because in the end, any place that hires more than 4 people has at least one person that's a fucking douchebag. And I challenge anybody at any job, whether you work in a business that has 10 people or 10,000 people, you're working with some fucking asshole. And everyone that is listening to my voice right now can name one asshole that they've worked with. Yes?
I would agree.
So stop with this whole, not you, but in general, stop with the whole fucking outrage and everything's so bad and it's my moral. This, shut up. Just shut up. You're an asshole. The next guy's an asshole. We're all fucking assholes. Just make it through the day without fucking killing somebody, and you've done okay. I mean, shit.
Did anybody die today? No. Well, you did good.
Yeah, then it's been a good day.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So
simple way to live. Maybe I'm too simple.
Yeah. Well, again, everything has to be an outrage.
I know. Sad, but very true.
But, getting back and wrapping up the story real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I had a discussion with somebody about this whole abortion issue who, is a young person.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Male, female?
Female.
Okay.
And, the age plays a lot into it, and generation plays a lot into it.
All right. Tell me her age, and then I'll tell you what her answer is.
23 years old.
23? Pro-abortion.
Of course.
Of course.
It's the Facebook generation.
Of course. I should be able to fuck without a rubber and then just kill it off because I fucking...
Well, I don't know that's the reasoning.
Well, that is the reasoning. Again, just like I was saying before about it's killing a baby, let's call it what it is. Getting an abortion is not taking 99% of the time. I don't want to fucking include the rapes because, obviously the rape is a different thing. But 99% of the abortions are, I fucked my boyfriend and took a load. And now I'm fucking pregnant. Mm-hmm. So let's kill this shit off.
Right.
That's what it is. So just let's call it what it is. The millennial generation, people of this person's age, don't want to be responsible. They haven't been raised, like we were saying before. They haven't been raised to be responsible. They've been raised to take the easy way out on everything. Abortion is just the easy way out. Especially with the people that believe like they do, trying to tell you that it's not fucking killing anything, because God forbid you got to live with the stigma that you actually whacked a baby. That's what you're doing. You're whacking a baby. Mm-hmm. Suck it up, admit that that's what you did, and move the fuck on.
Right.
Anyway, I know I'm just rambling. You got me on a definite hot button for me.
Of course. Well, we'll take a real quick call here. Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Hey guys, Tanner Boyle here.
Hey, what's up, Tanner?
Hey, did you hear the breaking news?
No, what's up?
Walmart's going to now be doing 24-hour abortions. Yeah, you could get your Cocoa Puffs and your milk, get an abortion while you're there.
Oh.
It's cool. 24-hour one right down the road from me.
All right. Well, you need to get a hold of somebody to write better material for you.
No, come on. All right, I'm heading back into the chat room.
That's a good idea.
All right.
All right. All right. So anyway, getting back to what I was telling you about, I was having this discussion. I was just like, for me personally,
right?
If you have any kind of, anti-abortion thoughts, or you're not down with that as a taxpayer, and your taxpayer money is going toward, say, a Planned Parenthood or something. Don't you think you should be allowed to have any say about that? Through
legal channels, yes.
Yeah, through having a elect
people that have your view, and have them change the law.
Yeah, but I wasn't so much going with the law end of it. I was talking about the people who have objection to it. And
you're asking, do I think that because you object to it, should you have some standing in not doing it?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you object to it, that doesn't make you a hater.
Oh no, not at all.
But this is the point I was going with. It's just like if the law is written this way and you object to it, and I agree with you about electing people who will maybe change that law or whatever and vote in for you as a constituent. I agree with that. But what I was trying to explain to her was that because you object to it, that doesn't make you a hater.
Yeah.
That makes you somebody who has a different viewpoint.
Correct.
Now, whether you agree with that viewpoint or not, that's two different stories. But you can't go out and demonize that person for having that different viewpoint.
No, I agree. With you
and
there.
And that was the whole bugaboo there. It was just like, well, you're just, and again, it goes with the whole name calling, a bigot and a hater and a this and a that. It's just like, this generation needs to stop with the name calling.
Yeah.
It's just like, because somebody objects or has a different viewpoint, that doesn't make them a bad person or whatever. But the demonization of anyone who has a different viewpoint than yours, that's where the problem comes into. That's where the problems come up.
Yeah. It does astound me that people our age are affected by that, though.
Well, I'm not affected by it. I was trying to more or less
not you, but I'm just saying that the people, look, the 20-year-olds by and large buy into all this liberal horse shit, and then that's always been the way it's been. When you're young, you're liberal. Once you start earning a living, then you fucking lean more conservative, depending on how much you succeed. The more you succeed, the more conservative you get, because the more of your own money you want to fucking keep.
That's because you're just greedy and you're selfish.
Yeah, I am. I absolutely am. I am greedy and selfish. I don't want to give a 23-year-old a fucking thing. You know what I want to maybe give them? A chance to earn for themselves. But I'm not in partnership with you. Just because I hire you, we're not partners now. I need a menial task done. I will pay you to do it. That's the partnership. You do it, I'll pay you this much money. If you ask me for more, you can go fuck yourself. Because I'm not in partnership with you.
Hater.
Yes. Hater, bigot, racist, homophobe, every goddamn label you want to give, because I won't cave in, I will wear. I will wear it with pride. Every one of them. Because I'm not going to cave into that shit. Fuck it. And you know what? I don't have to. Because unlike a lot of people, I don't have a job to lose. I don't have to be quiet because fucking my job might hear that I said something bad. I don't envy people that are conservative these days and have to go work a job where they're not like high up at the job, where they could sort of get away with it. I don't envy that. That's got to be hard.
Yep.
Keep your fucking mouth shut.
Just deal with it, pal.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, because you lose your job because people lose their jobs for having just the same views that I'm having right now. It doesn't make me a hater. I just don't agree.
Yeah. Well, the thing is you can't have a dissenting opinion without being, painted as some kind of negative person.
Mm-hmm. Well, so be it. Then leave me negative, I guess, because if having independent thought makes me negative, then I really have no need to be positive.
Right.
Because I don't need to be part of the fucking collective. I wouldn't want to be. I wasn't even none of us our age, 40 to 60, were raised to be fucking followers. We were all raised to try hard and try to lead. I think, weren't we?
Well, that would be the ideal situation.
Yeah, I mean, you were always, I don't know about how you were raised, but I was always taught to be better. Don't fucking settle for don't do the minimum. How many times did your old man say that to you? Don't do what you can do, or do what you can, don't do what you're expected.
Yeah, it's you don't do good enough to get by.
Yeah, you do better. My dad used to tell me constantly, no matter what you're trying to do, you better be better than the next guy, because the next guy will take from you and won't have any problem doing it. So I always go out of my way, dude. And you know how I work. I work 18 hours a day, a lot of fucking days, because I don't want to give the next guy even 1 ounce of fucking space, to fucking jump in and take my shit. I mean, I'll use my business relationship with your business as an example, because this is a direct thing that I know you can comment on. When you call me because you need something for your business, how long does it take before it's handled? It's usually like minutes, right?
Of course.
It's not, hey, I'll get to it when I get to it or whatever. You or your boss calls me and says, hey, I need changed on this website, or I need to know what this number means or whatever. I'm on it now. It's like, all right, this is my customer. I'm not going to give them 1 ounce of fucking room to find the next guy. I'm not going to give them any room for that. Right now, you're the most important person in my life because I need to get that fucking X amount of dollars every single month from you, from the next guy, from my customers. And I'd be stupid to half-ass it. That would just be dumb of me. Your company does me solid by giving me thousands of dollars a year. So why would I not fucking appreciate that and work my ass off to not give it away? People, this current generation doesn't understand that. They're all like, well, you should give it away. You shouldn't hoard it. You should want everybody to be treated the way you are. No, I don't. Because I'm better than you. And I'll say it proudly. I am better than you. I work harder than you. That's why I get more than you. And this fucking generation doesn't understand that, or doesn't want to understand that. And it's fucking depressing and sad, man. I hate it for these guys when the global economy with this fucking group of people in 20 years is going to eat them alive. It's gonna be over. The Chinese are gonna fucking run them over like a goddamn squirrel on a street. It's gonna be bad, man.
Or a hamster down a toilet.
Or a hamster down a toilet.
All right, well, let's play a couple of tunes and we'll come back and wrap up the show.
All right, wow. I went on a major tangent.
You went on a major rant, you hater.
The abortion thing drives me crazy.
Yeah, well, here's the guy who's going to take care of all those abortions. I'm going to play some Attic Demons with Dark Angel.
All right, nice.
So the Dark Angel is coming for your unborn fetus.
All right.
So this comes from the Let's Raise Hell release. It's Attic Demons exclusively here
on your classic metal show.